Right, busy section, content, right? Remember, loads of volume, quality, and fragmentation. The big three problems that you've been telling us for the last few years. And hopefully we're showing you how we're going about it. But if you think we're missing something, if you've got any great ideas, please do tell us, right? Tell us now, tell us this week, tell us anytime, right? Tell your SDL team. We're really, really keen to listen and understand if we're missing something or there's an angle that we should also cover. I'd like to do now a quicker run through the translation side, because I think it's really important that we got to look at that. So I could go now and grab again that little white paper that you're going to be able to download in a couple of weeks, but I'm not going to. Same study does look at the language needs and plans for many of you guys. Everyone is growing. Everyone needs more languages. Not everybody needs 100 languages, unfortunately, but some of you need a lot, tens of them. But the important thing is that you all need more. That is the key encouraging thing. So how do we inject technology and intelligence in the challenges? So the challenges are very similar, right? We still got the volume challenge. Is very similar to content, right? How much are you going to be to translate? How are you going to deal with that? Then you've also got quality, the same as we had in content, right? How do you get the local nuance of the translation to really, really work? You're going to have different quality levels, different needs. Not everything can be translated at the same cost. Some stuff is really, really important. It has to be great. I mean, Christoph and his team produce a lot of annual reports. So you really need to get your multilingual annual reports fine. You need to get your IPOs filings absolutely perfect. But not everything is that level. But the one thing that is different in this industry is velocity. And I'm going to spend a minute or two on velocity in a second. So we talked about the volume challenge. I'm going to share something with you, and you're going to see two numbers coming out. It's been one of the largest translation companies in the world. I'm going to share with you two numbers. Total transparency. Half of the work we do requires turnaround in less than 24 hours. And half of the work we do is less than 300 words. Remember those days when you used to send us like a big PDF with 1 million words? Right? Well, I don't. So how are we dealing with that? Well, we are going about the Suite Technology, and with people, and with automation. So the first thing that we wanted to do was to get that translation management value chain corrected. And it needed to be rebuilt. I mean, we started 35 years ago with Trados doing CAT. And I think we've been evolving it, and I think we've done a fantastic story. I'm really proud to see 35 years later, 71% of the world translators using that. And then we're also the proud owners of 4 different TMSs that everybody solves a different problem. Doesn't matter what you have, we will have the right TMS for you. And then we've got a number of tools for linguistic assets. But really, for many of your needs, you want everything to be integrated in one single system. It doesn't need to be separate. They've traditionally been separate. So we've been learning a lot for the past 27 years in SDL, through the Trados team, 35 years. We've been learning and wishing that there was a moment in which we should or could build what you would build today with everything we know. And we've been doing that for the last 3 years. Last year, Jim Saunders, our Chief Product Officer, was on stage, demonstrated the concepts. People like the concept. We announced the product in June. We made it available a couple of weeks ago. And you've got a couple of sessions. It's in the theater. You've got a breakout sessions. But it's basically, think about, this is what you would build from scratch if you could, on microservices, self-healing, elastic, integrated, intelligence built in, content pre-processing, understanding machine translation suitability, having editing capabilities, having session portability from offline to the desktop, offline word count, project accounting, project management, heat maps, everything that you wanted, hopefully. We did a customer advisory board back in April. right? We came and hosted it here in Silicon Valley. We invited a number of you. Anna, who's going to come and join us in a minute, who's going to tell us what she found out. You told us what you wanted us to change. We've got a big plan for this. Really, really excited. Please do not leave without checking this solution, and Luis and the team will be delighted to take you through it. But these things have to work in a world of multi-products, because you're already using a lot of other things. So those of you who were here in 2016 would remember I said we're going to invest in connectors, because I think in 2016 we had like 2 connectors. Right? I think we've gone a long way. I think we've got a lot more than just 2 now. Our vision is that it doesn't matter what you've got, it doesn't matter what you need to translate, we got it. And if we don't, as we didn't with Workfront, we do now. Now, you're going to see a press release tomorrow announcing a partnership and an integration with Workfront. But since you were all here, I didn't want you to find out through the PR machine. So I'm just telling you that we're integrating not any connector, but all the capabilities I talked about in Language Cloud, we're integrating them with Workfront. So you will be able to create and orchestrate a digital experience, a campaign. And instead of going linearly and sequentially, just throwing it over the fence and hope that it happens on time, and it happens in the right quality, totally integrated. The translation process will be going in and out. The budget will be measured. A really, really neat integration for those of you who are using Workfront. So very excited to be working with them. But instead of hearing it from me, I mentioned that Anna willingly and amongst others participated at that customer advisory board. Anna is very well known to most of you because of the leadership position she's been playing in content and translation here in the Valley. So Anna, would you mind joining us on stage and share some of your thoughts, please?
I'm priming and thinking of chocolate. Yummy.
CFO there, we need to think of a chocolate-related KPI. It's very clear.
Yummy.
Right?
Thank you.
Translation management. I mean, how long have you been in this world of translation management and been a good user of it?
Yeah, I think many years.
Okay.
I think I'm a little older than you are. So yeah, I think we've used TMS at VeriSign, at VMware. And one of my first questions when I joined NetApp about 11 years ago was, what do we have? You know, what's in here? How bad is it? You know. I heard we have TMS. I said, okay, let's figure it out. So at NetApp, we've been using it for 11 years, and it's grown and it's gotten complicated, but it's also helped us do amazing things.
For example?
Well, I think we did such a great job in globalizing NetApp that, I mean, the amount of innovation that you're showing us, you're now leading us. I used to think we are leading you. Now I see it the other way around. Like what you're proposing is just the beginning. And all this translation management technology is really just an excuse for our teams to drive the company. And if you can show how you're positioning your products everywhere, you're going to stop talking about translations and localization and connectors, and you're going to start being asked to explain why a product is not behaving in a specific market. So you need to give us this peace of mind that these things need to work just fine so that we can talk a different talk.
Excellent.
Yep.
You participated at that customer advisory board.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you...
I was like, hallelujah, chocolate. It was really good. It's really promising, and we're going to be one of the first customers, and we're all in because we need the infrastructure to do better things. So the stuff that you're talking about, too much content and siloed and so many teams inside companies that are so large, creating repositories and more content, we need to get a hold of this. So when I look at your platform, the information, the data, the analytics, the dashboards is really going to help us speed business up. I'm no longer in the business of translations or localization, but to help the company make good business decisions and stay very relevant in the markets that we choose to. So this gives us the platform to make these decisions faster.
All right. Thank you. Thanks
You're
for
welcome.
being here. Thanks for sharing your insight.
Yep.
And thanks for the
Thank you,
relationship.
Adolfo. Keep it going.
Thank you. Thanks. Right, so we're going now into velocity, right? Velocity, we got to do more, we got to do it quicker. So let's just talk about, yes, it would help if I press the right button. Sorry. We're going to talk about how do we deal with velocity. And I talked about earlier, right, half of what we do it in less than 24 hours. And you might be thinking, well, why do they do that? Is that everything like this? Is that no? So I wanted to sort of share another secret of the kind of stuff that we need to work on your behalf. By the way, we don't do it because we choose to, it's because you have asked us to please help you to deal with two very different realities. You are giving us, on the one hand, tsunami projects, massive waves. Not one single file, unfortunately, right? But huge amount of waves. And then on the other hand, we get a lot of very small files in other areas. So we tell you a little story about one particular customer, which I'm not going to quote, where we had to produce nearly 40 million words into 10 languages. That's not trivial, right? We had to do it in 10 weeks. No, it wasn't 10, it was 8. So that was last year. And we sort of had to sort of figure out new ways of working to do that. This year they came back, roughly the same amount again, roughly 40 million words. And they said, now it's not 10. Now it's going to be a few more languages, 12. By the way, new words. Do you think we had the original 10 weeks that we asked for and the eventual 8 weeks that we did last year? No, we had to do it in 6. This is our world, because this is your world. And in the process of doing that, we had to do that with 960, nearly 1,000 translators, mobilized, deployed, trained, enabled, managed, and QA'd. If you want to build this capability in-house, please be my guest. But I don't think you should be doing that. Just leave us handle it. But we're doing a lot more things. And I wanted to sort of give you a number of ideas of some of the projects that we've been working on in language services. Our team, thousands of people in SDL who are working on the creation side, are engaging with you, the sales teams, the project managers, the translators, project coordinators, QA, engineers, content assistants, marketing specialists, musicians, videos that are putting together this type of solutions for the likes of people in this room. Can we please roll that video?
Me and my Shironas all había visto algo así.
Na, du darfst dich gerne damit einschmieren.
Il y a un survivant.
Sigue corriendo, sigue jugando, sigue bailando. Solo vive el momento.
GoPro empieza a grabar.
Hey, you invited the doof! Sam.
Oh, man! I didn't know that was gonna be here.
What did I do? Now I speak with a slur. What did I do? Now it's all in the blur. What did I do? Can't remember a thing. Don't have a clue. I'm in need of some understanding.
So a lot of humans at work, a lot of technology at work, a lot of creativity at work, and some machines at work. And that sort of leads me onto how do we move on the spectrum from the transcreation, the art, the creativity, that spur of marketing, all the way across to the sheer volume of machines. And it's not either or. We talked in a couple of years ago at Connect that our vision was one where you will need people and machines, that we're going to help each other. Machines, we're going to enhance the capabilities of humans. Machines, we're going to help our humans, our linguists, our creatives to be more humans and do less repetitive stuff. And machine was going to help us with a lot of scale. So we've been investing heavily in driving these solutions forward. And I think one of the key areas of investment's been neural machine translation, building out a lot of what we call enterprise-grade capabilities. The enterprise-grade capabilities that you have been asking us, because you wanted faster performance. You wanted more languages. Last year, we were really happy to be here saying we got over 70 language pairs. This year, we've got 127 language pairs. Last year, I think we had one non-English language pair. This year, we got over 50 non-English language pair. We've improved the performance, the quality significantly. You can now train your engines in your network, behind the firewall. Nobody needs to see it. You don't need to index it anywhere on the internet. If you want to use now on-premise, train on-premise, and then leverage and scale out and use our cloud to give you a processing capability when you have a peak of work, we can do that. We've also shrink-wrapped the technology. So if you are an application provider or you have a solution and you want to integrate our capabilities inside your platforms so that it's embedded, it happens. It's containers, it's Dockerized. You've got now licensing changes. We've been really busy advancing the game here. There are a lot of sessions here. There's the theater. Go and find the team. Go find Quinn, find Mihai, find the guys who are really going to take you to some of that. And if you got more ideas about privacy, restrictions, training, how do you integrate with the systems, please do let us know. We will be delighted to build it in. Now, we are investing a number of things because machine translation, as we know it today, this sort of text in, text out, it's great. Right? That's all that we've been doing since the 1950s with this industry was first coming to there. But I think we're going to be taking it farther. We're going to be not only translating, but we're going to be injecting in the same process some content attributes. So you'll be able to say, you're going to be dealing with, please translate this, but this is the vocabulary, this is the level of complexity that comes with all these features, tags, things that both Joe and Chi were talking about earlier, they will go into the translation. And they will really be augmenting the performance and the quality of the translation, because the translation will be more intelligent. And you think, whoa, what's next? Well, we're going to be talking about next year a lot more smart features. We're going to be getting so much intelligence so that we will enrich the translation process significantly. Well, you might want to translate 2,000 pages into 2,000 pages, but really, if you could translate the 2,000 pages and then get a summary all in the same step, that'd be cool. And then you could tag it. That would be cool. And if you also get a chance, the machine to tell you about the quality of the document and do correlations and be making informed decisions of what's going in and what's going out and what's the quality. That is the future. Text in and text out This was a challenge that the security intelligence set on after the Second World War. Tick. Now it's about doing smart translation, and that's what we're going to be bringing out to market over the next year. So I wanted to talk more about quality, because quality is really, really important. It's local nuance. It's really translating, it's transcreating, it's getting it right. And it's really important that you understand that you don't have to pay the same price, because not everything requires the same quality and not everything is equally expensive when you're producing it. But if you wanted to use linguists, we got a few. I think we're one of the largest employers of linguists in the world. I think we've got more than United Nations and the European Union. Right? We've got 1,400 linguists sitting in 39 countries in 59 offices around the world, and we do a lot of translation. We can produce 180 languages, and some languages that you've never heard of. Sometimes I've got to commit to do something in a language I'm too embarrassed to ask where they speak that language. It's fantastic, but some of you guys are expanding all over the world. They've got big ambitions. You want to go to Africa. You really want to take on the subcontinent. You want to go and get a lot of variations. If that's your business, that's what you want to do, we'll be there with you. Finally, quality is also about nuanced. And this is where our capabilities in regulated industries really come together. Because even if you get the right quality, you get the right output, there are certain documents that you just can't simply send to a freelancer. It's just confidential, restricted. There are some of you and your industries that you require traceability of documents. Some of you work on really producing stuff that it has to be perfect. You know, if you're doing medical labeling, this is a real life story, and you've got technical services and layout people, and they're putting some medical labeling in Arabic. I don't speak Arabic, but I was told that there's like 3 different commas in Arabic, and if you put the wrong comma in the medical label, it's quite problematic. There's no machine that is going to do that. And it's certainly not going to be a casual Arabic translator who's going to do that. You've got to do that with the capabilities, you've got to do that with technology, and you've got to have the understanding of when you're dealing with an IPO, how do you deal with an IPO? When you're dealing with an annual report, those of you who participate in creating the company annual reports, you know that's the fastest changing document the company will produce the whole year. And it's probably the most fragmented, inconsistent version control problem that you will ever encounter. As a CEO, I can tell you, I don't even know when is the last version that we're reading. But we were using sort of other tools. Maybe this year we should create our annual report with Tritium, and we won't have that problem. There's a challenge there for us. So, what else are we doing? Well, we're also innovating on the roles of our professionals have to play, because you've asked us to innovate. This industry has had a lot of general purpose, especially general purpose translators, general purpose project managers. Now you've asked us to differentiate the type of project managers, who's dealing with automation, who is engaging with us, who is really good at being a project manager to deal with multimedia, who's great to be a project manager who deals with translation, but also deals with technology, who understands about the overall ecosystems, who understand about bringing content together. We are building new roadmaps, new capabilities. We're hiring new people in the company that give you that level of specialization. And then similarly, in the translation world, the world of translation is going to be fundamentally changed. Some people will still be translating, others will be. They are in countries where translation means reading source and then rewriting it in target completely. You can't translate by segment because it doesn't make any sense. So these guys are nearly like journalists. We will be building those roles. They're going to have computational linguists that work around next to the technology teams doing training on machines, training vocabularies, terminologies. This is a really fascinating thing. If anybody tells you that translation is a commodity, just tell them to come back and check this. So I think over the next decade, we stand a pretty good chance of working together and solving some problems that used to be in the back office of your enterprises and turn them into business enablers to help you, as Anna said, Determine which markets do you want to go to, how are you performing, is it a function of the content, is it a function of the translation, is it a function of the speed? So really we're going to be able to elevate that concept of global understanding by getting intelligent content and intelligent translation. But, there's always a but, you wanted more. So I remember sitting with some of you, and I'm not going to name you because but I haven't forgotten those meetings. They used to say to me, your products all look different. Your products don't talk to each other. They don't integrate. They just look like you just put a logo on it. By the way, you don't even always use the same logo. They don't integrate. You've got to replicate technologies. You've got 5 translation memories. So we took it really to heart because I thought that was a disgrace. I think we needed to do better. So we've been working really hard for the last 3 years to make our stuff easier to use. I challenge you, go to the theater, look at our products without reading what it says. And I challenge you to find any differences. They look the same. They're built the same. They're built to the same UI. And so it should be because they've got to be. They integrate not only with the outside world, but they integrate with each other. We've integrated multi-term, for those of you who come from the regulated industry, with Trados, and then all of a sudden we've opened a brand new world. We've made significant improvements to the UI of the Tridion world, and you're going to see a lot more improvements coming that area. If you see the translation, machine translation, ask the guys to show you the drag and drop features. How you drag a file in PowerPoint mode, ask it to translate it into 6 different languages, and the machine gives you 6 PowerPoints back, each of them in the right language, each of them perfectly formatted. That's productivity. But as Betsy said, you also wanted us to engage with you better. You wanted us to have a more unified post-sale experience, and this is where we've introduced Link, which I'll talk about in a minute. You've asked us to work on how we engage, the sales process. So we've created this program, and we're going to be looking over the next few years on how do we improve, how do we make it easier, how do we make it a more productive and enjoyable experience for you guys to do business with us. From the moment you're engaging on a pre-sale, visiting, evaluation, negotiating, getting on board, being supported and being renewed, how do we make all of that easier? And I think we've got a lot of work to do. We've put some big letterboxes outside, so please do use the chance to do that. Please tell us anonymously, do it, send us an email, you can send me an email at any time. Please participate in the voice of the customer summaries and surveys that we do. We take that to heart. You give us, they get distributed to all the executive members every month. We all get to see all of them. We see what you guys are telling us, and we're trying to make sure that we act as fast as we can on those. We take that very, very seriously. We're very pleased to see that the Net Promoter Score is growing, but I want it to grow more. And I can only grow it more if you guys tell us what you want so that we can act on it. And Link is that program that those of you in the developer track yesterday saw. It's a program where we are packaging all of our post-sale engagement with you. By the way, it's free. It's not like a program that we're trying to sell you anything, right? You just subscribe. You get information. It's going to help you network. It's going to help you learn, right? It's going to help you see what the innovation is. It's effectively a banner within which we're going to be channeling a lot of the post-sale experience because we want to be connected with you and we want you to stay connected with us and with other fellow customers who are engaging. And the last thing some of you told me in high tone of voice was that we needed to up our game in security because you are taking security very, very seriously. Whether you're a regulated industry or not, it doesn't matter. You can't have information leaks. You can't have the wrong operational procedure. You need to comply to some standards. And you've been giving us a hell of a list. And us and his security team have been very, very busy doing a lot of this. We did try to make it look busy, by the way. It doesn't change the point that I think we are uniquely positioned in terms of certifications and accreditations, and I challenge a lot of the people who we compete with to go and be able to show a report card close to this. Because this does matter, and it will matter a lot more. So somebody, I think it was Anna again, who said this was the tip of the iceberg. It does feel like it's a hell of a lot of things to do, but you don't have to do them alone. This is where we come in. This is what we're going to be doing. We're going to continue to drive that innovation. We're going to continue driving all of that change. We've got the whole of a decade to get there, right? In my dreams. I think when all of this happens, there will be new winners. I think it's going to be new winners in our industry, new winners in your groups, within what you're doing. We would like to be there. We'd certainly like to be one of the winners. We would like to help you be one of the winners and the most successful company. But I know that if we have a working relationship as tight over the next decade as we have had over the past decade, I think we're going to really make something really magical happen. Thank you for being here, and it's a joy to do business with you. Thank you.